wet, but with the sun today, I'm hopeful that they are feeling warm.
So she's carrying on as though that they're just out there in the woods just waiting to be picked up and waiting to be found. And she's hoping that they're dry and warm. She's already latching on to unrealistic expectations in this false hope, which is what they're trying to blast onto the nation, the world. This is bullshit. And that entire statement of yours, Malehya, was nonsense. It's bullshit. She knows that. It came through loud and clear. Yeah, her tone, that stuck out to you, Ruby? Which is a possibility they could have been? Yeah, there's just her acknowledging right there she doesn't want to commit to what exactly has gone on. Believe me, at that point in time, if you can't find your kids within 5 or 10 minutes, something else fucking happened. As a parent, you would be saying that. You would be absolutely off the wall, fucking losing it. Where are my children? They were just here a second ago. Now they're not. That's all that really fucking matters. And you've got all of this fancy fucking walking around bullshit circular talk as though any of it actually fucking happened. None of it happened. Malehya, none of it. Something happened the night before where the timeline blatantly cuts off and nobody seems to want to fill in or seem to acknowledge how it would be significant to whatever happened to Jack and Lilly in a situation you want people to believe that these kids voluntarily walked out to disappear.
We're all filled with pain and sorrow because we just want them found. We want them home. Everyone loves them. They are definitely verbal, and they do have possible autism, but it's not extreme autism. It's just they have
just enough for you to feel sorry for me and the kids, to overlook the neglect and abuse that's going on within the home and its effect on my children. It's a crime. Listening to her go and express this is listening to a crime. You would never represent that as possible autism as a parent, you detached numbskull. You're trying to label your children.
issues with school, and they don't catch up with the other kids. I just want to remain hopeful.
Sky Maiden, Brandy.
But there's always, in a mother's mind, you're always thinking the worst. Last night was one of the worst nights because I didn't have them in their beds.
One of the worst nights. I wonder what other worst nights, or what a worse night than that one would have been the night before, many are suggesting.
And I don't want to go through that another night without them.
The last few days have been very stressful. I mean, ever since the Friday morning, when we noticed that the children were gone.
Whoops.
Immediately jumped in the vehicle, surveyed all the areas, many dirt roads, many culverts as I could, and waited for the police to get there. As soon as I noticed they weren't there, I immediately jumped right in the vehicle and surveyed all the area, every dirt road, every culvert that I could find. Jack just absolutely loves bugs, dinosaurs, and anything like that.
Oh, there's one of his little episodes. Those are getting to be my favorites as well, guys. Watch him go into an emotional episode for the camera, where he follows up to see if that landed. Did the director approve of that version, or are we going to have to take two on that, honey? Mini Corey Feldman. Daniel, what a bad luck troll. Darwin Award. Paula W., who says one of the worst nights when there can be another worse than any of your children vanishing? Who even brings that up? She's wanting to focus, and she's trying to draw some support. She's trying to draw on your sympathy. Oh, I'm just going through so much right now. Meanwhile, the kids are the victims here, but they can't stop talking about themselves. That's an easy one. Low-hanging fruit, but there's more. Why is he fletching his teeth in the rain in the interview? Because he's tweaking, yo. He's still getting high, and he's still flying from the stuff that Chase dropped off for him on the Saturday. He had to get re-upped. Sarah Jane 86 says she looks as if she's accepted their fate at the time of that interview. Yeah, I would agree with that. She doesn't want to come out and say what it is that she feels, yet she's talking about what she feels and how she feels over it. Here comes this birth of this it and this thing that Daniel and Janie and Malehya don't want to talk directly towards or on, that we keep referencing. But they always get close to it. Get close to it. They want you, they're leading you to water, and they want you to drink it up. It was raining, and he was squinting like the sun was shining. Oh yeah. Well, the rain. Oh yeah. It was just having a hard go of it, JM. Facial contortionist, looking like Gollum out there, looking for his ring. I wonder if the 41 days of the children missing school correlates with something else. I don't know, house music. What is a statement, you mean? I should play it backwards. It's probably summoning the devil. Oh yeah, they'll be facing the music soon enough, Chalti. Did you notice the black pickup behind Malehya, Cindy Clark? The one in the driveway? Yeah, I've been looking at that. I wonder whose that is. Daddy Derpwood's? Derpwood's been involved since the get-go. You can't trust that guy. She sounds like she's describing a movie or a book with no emotion whatsoever. She just has general detachment. Sounds like somebody who's, not being straightforward about the circumstances, yet wanting to talk about things and giving you all of the possibilities, rather than be genuinely victimized, confused, hurt, and in need of assistance by the RCMP. Believe me, they all would have seen that. There's a big difference between legitimate and illegitimate, just in the nature of how the last people, or the people who called them, respond when they get there. And from all that we've come to hear, they were adamant, and they were not cooperative, and they were standoffish, and they were more engaged in getting more people around them to distract them, under the guise of looking for a couple of kids that they want us to believe just wandered off, all while distancing themselves from really making any sort of decision. These are the parents. Why are you running away from any sort of accountability in all of this? That should have been a non-issue. It should have been a non-issue. But it's a major issue here. Adele667 wants to know, why isn't she screaming, "Where are my children?" Because she already knows where they are. Tambourine36 says, Danny looks whacked out completely, can barely talk, in your opinion. Gollum, definitely in your opinion. Allegedly, he's tried to clean up since then and sounds more coherent, allegedly, in your opinion. You don't have to hide behind that many, and it's okay to have your opinion. And you're right. No one's going to disagree with you. Sarah Jane, I feel like they were awake all night dealing with the aftermath, and they are strung out and just want it over with. Absolutely. And this Bradley Wong and Justin Smith are very, very important eyewitnesses to undermine the alibi of the suspects, the people who don't want to speak, who were last around Jack and Lilly. They're key, absolutely key to this whole investigation. But Daniel is adamant on claiming that he was doesn't remember when he went to bed because it's not important, but he was definitely sleeping all night and never woke up until it was early in the morning and the kids were outside playing and never to be seen again. That's when he woke up. Doesn't even want to change or talk in more detail about it for the police or anybody else, as though nothing of it matters, and that's what he wants you to believe. Unfortunately, that's not how this goes. The suspect doesn't get to make the rules as they go. Oh, he's trying to look relaxed. It's very difficult to do when you're tweaking on the mathematics. He's sweating. Just wait till you get a little closer to him. He was sweating hard. He's still full of lies, but I hate misinformation and would love it cleared up. Well, it's dirty bits. Listen. It looks like you were wrong on that last one. Major misfires, AB, but his brain is stronger than the rest, apparently, to do math every day for years. He's microdosing. Microdosing the math. Oh, Jesus. That's so funny to even brag about. Mayflower, I guess, you could bring that up, but I'm pretty sure that he knows it. Not that it's necessarily important to pursue this case. You love that last interview, Bonnie, where he's so obviously pissed and agitated about the dog handler. I don't know if he was. I guess it's probably one of my favorites too. But you never quite get to you never quite get to learn why in that sense. It's not about that. It's about, hey, look at how innocent I am. Hey, look at everybody pointing their fingers at me in this circumstance. That's been typical up until now. It's nobody doing or going overboard in any sense of the word, because all of the information has flowed one way from these individuals. So it's going to be very difficult to get away from that. Nobody's making things up and putting it on you. And you're lying in this situation, there's a reason for it. Really. And it comes down to flawed fundamental logic in all of this. They can't win. They can try to play this game for as long as it takes. That's all they can do. But they're not fooling anybody. No, it's dirty. Listen, it's because he's rehearsed this story in 2 different times, said 2 different things in that sense. That was the point that was being made. It's only you that thinks that in that particular way. So there might be a reason for that. It probably has to do with you trying to troll my chat. Tambourine Mayflower, yes, I agree that happens. How many stories can one person make up? Practice makes perfect, I guess. Good thing for screenshots. Oh, Tambourine. Yeah, Esther Minier, you think? Well, he's got to keep up that appearance, Mama. He's got to pretend that he's smarter than everybody else. In a way, when it comes to this particular case, he is, and he knows it, and he should be acting as though he's not. But he can't. He can't get past that. See, to act that way as though you had all of the information at any point in time is rather suspect. Then it gives him further away. There's no coming back from that. You can put all kinds of lipstick on that pig. Oh, it's okay. It's a dirty bits. I'm just reacting. Well, I know. Okay, I'll go back and look. But if it's two separate, then I can't believe how stupid I am. But I've been dumber under the influence of all of this sticky icky. Callie O, where did I see you? I can't believe he has been free for 8 months, allowed to move freely and get away with covering everything up. Listen, don't let that shock you. There's all kinds of individuals out there in the world who are guilty of the most heinous of crimes that walk around you freely every day and you don't know any and aren't any of the wiser. The fact that you know more about this individual, it just comes with the emotional load because of your attachment to the particular case, right? You've got to manage that. You've got to know how to manage that. Do you need a hug? Sometimes a hug helps. That's part of management. Trauma management. Or sorry, that's me grooming you. I wasn't trying. All fair. I just thought it was worth noticing. Thanks for bringing it up. It's dirty bits. I'll watch it next time. I'll watch back on it. He freebases too, silver gold. When they can afford. What can they afford to? 7 gram rocks like Charlie Sheen. You've got it right, Anita Benita. Well, Danny is not free from his own paranoia, so there's that for now. All right. You're right on. You're with that. It eats away. But also, that's if there's any humanity left in him at this point. You would think at some level, as soon as you peel the layers of the onion back for Daniel in an interview room, can you only really truly see the terror in his eyes. That would be fantastic perspective. That's going to happen someday. Eats away at him like the math has eaten away his teeth. Sarah Jane 86, do you believe Janie is also hooked on this crank? The jib, the Tina, the crystal, that cut knife that they buy from the dudes up in Westville. Tambourine, it was a massive change in his behavior, and I agree it was indigent. Was what the hell is that word? I can't even recognize that word. He was something. I don't know what that says, Bonnie.
Because at this point, they're getting ridiculous.
So are you thinking that the dogs will...
Oh, these guys, all of these online rumors are fucking ridiculous. As if you even bring that up on the CBC. The last thing that you do is feed the trolls, and that's feeding the trolls. If that was really a concern, don't even bring them up. Just manage it. It's something that you have to manage. If it is indeed an issue, but it's not an issue. Anytime that you're in a situation like this, doesn't matter who you are, you get inundated by a bunch of people that you don't know. And social media makes that, it compounds that, especially if you're in their position and they want to put it back onto people as though they're doing something wrong. They shouldn't, then they don't have to, and they can choose not to be engaged in all of this in the first place. You have the right to remain silent, but you won't. I'll never get past how he wanted to put this off onto Malehya. Whatever's going on, the reason that they can't find Jack and Lilly, it's because Malehya has them, or Malehya knows what happened to them. We have nothing to do with it. Just like the kids, she's not around to speak for herself, and she's clammed up. Has guilty written all over it. Anita says DM is more worried about what people see and think of him, and his victim pool is getting smaller by the day. No victim, no control. He be going after Logan and Janie again. These inbreeders. Yeah, there's something going on there.
Go in there and won't find anything?
I know for 100% they won't find anything. I mean, that's probably why they waited this long to do it. It's just to keep the public informed, I guess, that they're hard at work.
Sitting on it, bawling my eyes out. I was...
And here's the reasons, all of the reasons, the amended reasons why I was bawling my eyes out. Let me read this. I've prepared a little something. Come on, Janie. Already so many games being played. Janie's the stuff nightmares have made of. Would you be afraid of her if you were a little child, Robin?
I'm keeping them. He would play on the swing. He was a happy-go-lucky boy. Lilly, she was a Miss Prim girl, as I would say, if that's what you call it. I guess they call her a diva or whatever, but to me, Miss Prim. Because whenever she would get her clothes dirty, she would go in and change her clothes. I never knew what that girl was going to come out in. She had a kitchen out in the yard. I had to play kitchen. I got to play kitchen for them. Well, for my oldest two grandchildren. And when they weren't here, that's what she did. She'd play with the kitchen. She'd make mud pies. She would pretend she was making hot chocolate, or...
It's interesting that she corrected herself. Oh, I got this outdoor kitchen for my biological grandchildren. But that's what they love to do. They love to play on some of the toys that I've gotten for the grandchildren that I care about. That little diva, I guess is what you would call it. She's a little diva. Could you imagine? Jackie's a curious little boy. He's no longer around anymore. Hint, hint. That's what you're waiting from this evil Cruella broad. Why did you go back in the house when the cops got there? You and Dan avoiding talking to the cops, getting together to get your stories straight, says Ginger. Yeah, so at that point in time, whatever happened the night before, whatever the incident was that brought the fate of Jack and Lilly, God rest their souls. These evil son of a bitches. They have a history of mistreating Jack and Lilly. There's child eyewitnesses to this being related to the suspect.
Coffee or tea. If a bug got around her, she would scream, there's a bug, and she would go running in the house because there was a bug. Jack would just say, where's the bug? That's all they ever, from what I observed, they just played on the swings a lot. Her and the oldest grandchild would play on the swing. They would sit up there and they'd sing. I would sit there on my doorstep and listen to them sing. They would run around the yard, and that's all I ever heard was Lilly say, come on, Jackie, let's go, Jackie, come here and play, Jackie, come here and play. They were bright little kids. They talked a breeze. Like when someone come into my yard, like if my brother come into my yard, they would come and say hi, and my brother would talk to them, and they would talk to him, and Jack would be there. Oh, look at my worms, or look at my bugs. I remember one day we caught a salamander, him and I, and Daniel said, Jack, you have to let the salamander go, because if not, it'll die. Well, I snuck the salamander out of the bucket, and he looked for that salamander, and he cried, because we let his salamander go. Jack was just into bugs. He loved bugs. Lily was into the kitchen, making mud pies. And then when my two oldest grandchildren would come down, every second weekend they would come. My oldest granddaughter would come in here, and they'd say, Granny, we want some snacks to go up to the little cabin they built, or the little fort they built. They built it themselves out of sticks and brush. And I'd say, there's the fridge. My other two grandchildren, they could have whatever they wanted. My fridge was like one of those doors when you go into a store. It would open and close all the time. My oldest granddaughter would come in here, and she would take snacks for all of them and pack them in her backpack and go up to the camp. And another thing, the backpack thing. I've never seen Lily outside with that backpack. Daniel told me that they always tried to keep her from taking it outside, but I've never seen her with that pack. The only time outside playing, but the time I did see her with the backpack is when my two other grandchildren would come down. She'd want a backpack too, because the oldest grandchild had a backpack, and she wanted to be just like her and have a backpack.
Oh, that was difficult. Think about how much time that took to say. Think about how much time that took her to say, to explain to people about why Lily... What exactly were you trying to explain there? Exactly. You're just trying to explain the backpack. And it took you all of this time to say absolutely nothing about the fucking backpack. Other than you're adding extenuous information to the already story that you're weaving. It's irrelevant. Who cares? Why are you so focused on it? In this particular case, you're using it in order to bolster your own virtue in the moment, but it doesn't work, especially when people go back in retrospect after they catch on to your nonsense. Oh, Tambourine, don't know. Not even going to follow it up with any backpack questions, simply because it's something that they introduced that's really used to distract. It's pointless. There's no point to a backpack conversation here, other than pointing out the inconsistency in what it was that Jack and Lily were last seen in. That's never been straight up and delivered. And when it did, it was immediately contradicted by Daniel publicly. Like, how many times does that have to happen before you've had enough with the suspect? Once in my book. So it's not like he's capturing the hearts of people and convincing them that they're oh so innocent in all of this. Every day that goes by, they look even more suspect to the public and guilty, probably guilty of some heinous things here. We don't have to worry about the technicalities. We're not at that point. You can speculate away and use your imagination as to how it came about. But it has all of the signals as a typical domestic in the escalation. And the relationship stinks of coercive control by an out-of-control tweaker. And there's probably more to it than that. There's more to it that they're protecting, that we don't know. More to it that would shock us. Like, where does the abuse stop in this situation? What is the bond that is tying these weirdos together? There's something else in the background. And yet it has everything to do with the fate of Jack and Lilly and the need that they had to construct in order to try to get away with this. What's keeping them all together is that if one person goes down, the rest of them are going to go down. And they haven't been challenged. They haven't been challenged yet. Because all of that they've brought to the investigation is false information. So they've had to construct the case in a different way. One that doesn't align with what is being portrayed in the public eye, that these individuals are portraying themselves to be victims, and that they're not, my friend. You can't be both perpetrator and victim. By the way, if you were this innocent in all of this, you fucking fools, you wouldn't have the need to be in front of a camera trying to convince people that you're innocent of all of this. Your innocence would speak for itself. And there's not any part of this that would lure anybody into thinking that you somehow didn't have something to do with whatever happened to Jack and Lilly. You guys are so desperate to protect what it is that's the this. That's the thing, the it that you refer to.